You know what's mind-blowing? A kid who used to borrow his friend's cleats because he couldn't afford his own went on to earn over $1 billion in his career, becoming the first footballer to achieve that milestone.
That's what makes Cristiano Ronaldo's story so fascinating. It completely rewrites what we think is possible in terms of athletic achievement and personal transformation.
The statistics from his early life are pretty stark. Growing up in Madeira, his family shared a tin-roofed house where he and his siblings crammed into one room. His father earned barely enough as a kit man to keep food on the table.
You know what's really interesting about those early years? He actually had a heart condition that could have ended his career before it began. Doctors performed surgery when he was 15, and he was back training within days.
Well, that determination showed up even earlier. At age 12, he made this incredible decision to leave home for Sporting Lisbon's academy. We're talking about a kid who barely spoke proper Portuguese because of his Madeiran accent.
Hmm. And that's where we start seeing these early signs of what would become his legendary work ethic, right? I mean, the coaches literally had to lock up the gym to stop him from overtraining.
Oh man, you should hear what happened during that famous Manchester United friendly in 2003. The United players were so impressed that they literally wouldn't stop talking about him on the team bus. John O'Shea, who had to mark him that day, said he needed an oxygen mask after chasing him around.
So, what do you think made Ferguson pull the trigger so quickly on signing him? I mean, £12.24 million was a lot for an 18-year-old in 2003.
Well, there's this great quote from Ferguson where he said, "We had a thing at United where we wouldn't give the number 7 shirt to just anyone. But he gave it to Ronaldo immediately. That's how special he knew this kid was."
The transformation at United was incredible. Like, in his first season, he was the skinny kid doing too many stepovers. By 2008, he's scoring 42 goals in a season and winning the Ballon d'Or.
And here's something most people don't realize. During that period, he completely revolutionized his training approach. He started studying things like sleep science and recovery techniques that weren't common in football then.
That's exactly what set him apart at Real Madrid, too. I mean, the numbers are just insane. 450 goals in 438 games. That's more than a goal per game over 9 years.
You know what's wild? His dedication to physical preparation was so intense that Real Madrid's medical team said his body had the biological age of a 23-year-old when he was actually 33.
Well, that explains how he was still breaking records in his mid-30s at Juventus. Remember that goal where he jumped 2.56 meters high and stayed in the air for 1.5 seconds?
Um, yeah. Scientists actually studied that jump and said it showed power comparable to an NBA player. But beyond the physical achievements, what really stands out is how he handled setbacks.
Like losing his father at age 20, or dealing with constant comparison to Messi throughout his career. He somehow turned every challenge into motivation.
Speaking of motivation, his former teammates talk about how he would spend hours practicing specific movements. Gary Neville once said he'd never seen anyone so obsessed with self-improvement.
That's what makes his legacy so powerful. It's not just about natural talent. It's about this relentless pursuit of excellence in every single detail.
And when you look at the numbers now, over 800 career goals, 5 Champions League titles, 5 Ballon d'Or awards, it's almost impossible to believe it all started with that kid from Madeira.
Well, I think that's what makes this story so inspiring. It shows that with enough dedication and self-belief, you can literally rewrite what people think is possible.
You know, looking back at his entire journey, it's really a masterclass in the power of relentless determination combined with strategic self-improvement. That's something anyone can learn from, whether they're into sports or not.